Mga ate at mga kuya, welcome back to Kuya Puto's channel. Meron po akong na-discover that I wanna share with you kung bakit sobrang hirap po, as in talagang pahirapan makahanap ng trabaho ang mga kabataan dito sa Canada ngayon. And it's directly related to a big scam involving international students. Yung po ang pag-uusapan natin dito sa video na to. So mga ate at mga kuya, look around you right now. Lahat po, halos lahat ng mga entry-level positions ngayon involving palaging ng mga fast food, grocery stores, typically yung mga trabaho na nagbabayad ng minimum wage or a little bit more. Okay? Karamihan po doon is occupied by a lot of foreigners. And marami pong mga kabataan ngayon na mga Canadians, they're complaining left and right. Sinasabi nila sobrang hirap po makahanap ng trabaho because all of those jobs are occupied by a certain people. I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain who those people are to you. Hey honey.
Hi.
How many jobs have you applied for in the last month or two?
Somewhere around 10-15.
10, 15 jobs? And all of them frontline, right? Tim Hortons,
Yeah, maybe.
McDonald's,
They're all frontline.
KFC.
Yep.
Has anybody called you?
Nope.
How come?
Very competitive right now because everybody's trying to look for a job and they're looking for people who can work more hours, not really just after school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find a job right now.
It's not too hard to find. It's just it'll take a while to find one that'll accept you.
And this is coming from a 14-year-old kid that was born in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So guys, last year, there was a big scandal. There was a big report all over the news. Sabi po nila, there was about 50,000 international students that never ever showed up to school dito sa Canada. So ano nangyari dun? Napakalaki ng binayad nila to come here as international students for them to just not show up. So what's the deal? Ganito po kasi yan, guys. It's no big secret that over the last several years, the international student pathway, panis na po to, but let me reiterate. The international student pathway has been one of the most popular methods for people to come here to Canada with hopes of one day becoming a PR. Problema kasi doon, guys, ganito. That pathway was never meant for people to use to become a permanent resident. There's other ways to do that po, right? But can you blame the international students? Can you blame these people? They're no different than us Pinoys, A lot of people from Pilipinas, they leave the country to become OFWs for the same exact reason, para po makatulong sa mga pamilya nila, para makatulong po sa buhay, sa mga pangarap nila. So I don't blame them one bit, Kapit patalim, they're just taking a chance to improve their lives and the lives of their families, right? But there's many people, unfortunately, that are taking advantage of them. Yeah, the whole system becomes broken. So, how do I start this story? Ganito po kasi yan. We have 2 tenants sa condo namin na nirerentahan namin. And we've had them for over 2 years, right? They're what you call digital nomads. They're IT professionals. And, we've had them for over 2 years, and it's difficult to not have a good relationship with them, right? Which we do. So, last week, binisita ko po sila dun sa condo, and, we spent some time just chit-chatting. Usap-usap po kami. And the conversation turned into this topic kung bakit nga napakadaming nung lahi nila occupying all of these positions, taking jobs away from Canadians, right? And it was a very fruitful conversation, and they told me the truth based on their side, based on their point of view. And parang nagulat po ako. I'm pretty sure, there's a lot of people out there and, they have their own opinions about this, but this came from the source itself. So sabi po nila sa akin, ganito, doon po sa bayan nila, yung pong mga immigration consultants, they work in collaboration with business owners na kalahi nila dito sa Canada. So, mahirap po yung buhay dun sa bayan nila, right? So, nangyayari po, inaakit po nitong mga immigration consultants, yung mga tao, para pumunta dito for a better life, right? Or at least for a chance of a better life. So, yung mga tao po, kawawa sila, they sell their livelihoods, utang dito, utang dun, so they can pay the fee to these consultants para, madala sila dito sa Canada as international students because it has been the most popular pathway na ginamit ng marami para makapunta dito with hopes to become a permanent resident and hopefully, a citizen one day. Dahil there's more opportunities here, di ba? Dati po nung bata ako, the encounters that I've had with international students were different. I went to school with a couple international students, but typically po dati nung araw, mga nag-international students po, yung mga mayayaman. Okay? They're not seeking to become Canadian citizens or permanent residents. They're strictly seeking higher education. And after they graduate, they go home to run their family business or to start a business or to start their own lives, to enrich the country that they came from. Unfortunately, nabaliktad ngayon. People are using it or have used it over the last couple of years as a method para makapunta dito. And many people have taken advantage of these people. Kaya in a way, parang it contributed a lot kung bakit yung mga kabataan po dito sa Canada di makahanap ng trabaho because they all have been taken by international students for all the wrong reasons. Anyways, yung mga immigration consultants na yon sa bayan nila, merong cut na nangyayari, merong commission na nangyayari. So the more people they recruit, they supply these businesses dito sa Canada na mga may-ari ay kalahi nila. Like typically, like I said, mga frontline jobs, na Tim Hortons, Wendy's, not McDonald's. I'm not sure about McDonald's, but KFC, Church's Chicken, some grocery stores, a lot of trucking companies. Yung mga typical na ganong klaseng mga trabaho, right? So, nangyayari ganito. They recruit the people and these people pay the fees. So, kita yung mga immigration consultants, right? Tapos, parang sinusupplyan nila itong mga businesses dito na mga may-ari ay kalahi nila with those people from dun sa bayan nila. So, sasabihin niyo, Kuya Puto, anong problema dun? Wala namang problema yun, right? But see, this is where it gets a little dirty. Okay? So, yung pa mga business owner dito sa Canada, nung mga fast food chains na yon, nung mga grocery stores na yon, nung mga trucking companies na yon, alam po nila yung sistema, how the government works and how subsidies work, right? So, yung mga international students, pag naglanding sila dito, they start getting recruited or getting placed at these positions that these business owners na kalahi nila own. So guys, if you're a crooked business owner, what is one of the biggest overhead expense na meron ka? Labor. So in a way, this is one way para itong mga crooked business owners na to lower their overhead costs when it comes to labor, di ba? Because when they hire an international student na kalahi nila, they would hire them part-time, right? So once they work the 24 hours that they're allowed for that week, usually dapat tapos na, di ba? Can't work anymore. But guess what? On paper, they're part-time, but realistically, they're hired full-time. Dahil after the 24 hours have been met, these employers start paying these international students cash under the table for way under the minimum wage that the law requires them to pay employees. That's the truth. Napakalaking savings po nila nun. Isipin nyo. Ngayon, you can staff your whole entire operation. The whole entire operation, guys, with a bunch of foreigners or international students na hindi magko-complain. Dahil, they came here realistically not to go to school. Realistically, pumunta po sila dito to find a full-time job para po, they can support themselves, they can support their dreams, or even worse, support their families back home na umaasa po sa kanila. They're no different than OFWs, right? So isipin nyo, kaya pag pumasok po kayo sa, for example, Tim Hortons, I'm not saying all, okay, but typically, lately, dito sa Canada, karamihan po ng beses ngayon, in the economy that we live in, karamihan po ng mga nagtatrabaho sa mga fast food jobs or any type of employment that usually pay minimum wage, like typically frontline positions, grocery stores, fast food places, even trucking companies. Yung po mga empleyado are, predominantly foreigners or international students na kalahi nila. And it gets even worse. Do you know that dito sa Canada, the government subsidizes the income that are being paid by the employer to the international students? It's up to 50% to a maximum of $5,000. So, kung tutuusin, us Canadian taxpayers, tayo nagbabayad nun. Diba? So, isipin nyo, kung business owner ka na baluktot and you're tied in with this type of operation, di ba? You have consultants doon sa bayan nila that are supplying, palagay nyo na ako, my business with international students. So I can lower my overhead. So the consultant dun sa bayan nila makes the money through fees. And if anything, baka pati yung mga business owner dito na nagpa-participate dito sa ganitong klaseng operasyon, maybe they get a cut from, the fees that those consultants charge these poor people. Diba? And on top of that, once these etong mga baluktot na business owners dito sa Canada, employ these international students, not only are they abusing them by paying them like significantly less under the table after the 24 hours that they're allowed to work has been met. On top of that, they also get subsidies from the government to employ these international students. Subsidies that are coming from our taxes, the taxes that we pay as Canadian citizens. Diba ang daming hit nun? So, this is the reason why, guys, a lot of Canadian kids, a lot of young Canadians are complaining na sobrang hirap makahanap ng trabaho because, some people, I'm not saying all of them, okay? I'm not saying all of them, guys. Let's get that nice and straight. There are some people taking advantage of the system. Ginawa po nilang negosyo to. And it's unfortunate because there's so many people out there, that are doing so many good things, regardless of race, regardless of the skin color. And lahat po yun parang bumabaho sa mga mata ng Canadians because of the examples that are being practiced right now by a certain undesirable few.